Hey guys, it's Lukian, and today I am finally going to be announcing, I guess, my TBR for my annual Reading 7 Books in 7 Days challenge. So, I have been doing this, challenge for years now. My actual first video on this channel is a booktubeathon check-in. It was a day 1, day 2 check-in. And I did it then, that was 2017, I did it again in 2018, then in 2019 it switched over to the Reading Rush, I participated in that, and then I participated in 2020 as well, and then last year, since the Reading Rush did not end up happening, I kind of just wanted to do the challenge on my own, and I really enjoyed doing it, and I wanted to do it again this year. Usually it happens in July, the end of July, but I really did not have any time in July to do it. And I finally have a week where I am going to be able to do this. Even though it's the end of August, I still really wanted to do it because I miss vlogging, and I just love doing the daily vlogging and kind of reading every single day. So I'm really excited to participate, and I have just a TBR of 7 books that I've been meaning to read for a while, or just that I'm really excited about, and I thought that I would talk about them. So these are in no particular order, but the first book that I have here is Arusha and the Nectar of Immortality by Roshani Chokshi. I have read an Arusha book for the past 4 years for this 7 book in 7 days challenge. I did it in 2019, 2020, 2021, and now again in 2022. This is the final book in the series, so I guess this means that the tradition will be ending, but still, I'm really excited to read this book. This is the 5th and final book in the Arusha and the End of Time series, or the Pandava series by Roshani Chokshi. I love Roshani Chokshi. She's one of my favorite authors. The Arusha series is one of my favorite series, and you can see all my in-depth thoughts on all of the books from the second book and till now in those blogs, so I can link them in the description box below, or the playlists for the challenges that I've done in the past. But this is a middle grade series. It's a fantasy series that deals with Hindu mythology, and it deals with the Pandava brothers, but it's gender flipped in this, and it has all this mythology, and it's just really fun. I love this series, and I can't wait to see how it ends in this book. Then I have The Mystery of Mrs Christie by Marie Benedict. This is a literary book / mystery that deals with the point in time where Agatha Christie actually went missing. I don't remember when it was. 1926. So if you don't know the story, Agatha Christie basically ended up going missing for 11 days, I think it was. Still nobody knows where the heck she went, but she basically found out that her husband was cheating on her, and she dipped, and no one knew where she went. It was like a worldwide thing. I think The Murder of Roger Ackroyd had just come out, which is one of her most famous books. And she just, again, disappeared. No one knows where she went until she showed up, almost a week and a half later. So this book chronicalizes, a fictional account of what happened to her, and I'm so interested in this book. I've been interested in it since it came out, and I love the tagline. It says, Agatha Christie's own mystery may be her greatest mystery of all. So I really love that, and I love Agatha Christie. I love all of her books, and I've read so many of them, and I actually have one on my TBR for this challenge, but I'm super excited to read this book. I feel like it'll be really interesting, and even though, again, it's fictionalized, I still feel like it'll be really intriguing and a good mystery. Plus, it's pretty short, so it's good to read in a day. Then I have Through the Dark by Alexandra Bracken. This is a collection of short stories set in the world of the Darkest Minds. So it is In Time, Sparks Rise, and Beyond the Night. Those are the 3 stories in here. And I have also read a Darkest Minds book every single year since 2018. I read the first book, The Darkest Minds, 2018. I read Never Fade in 2019. I read it In the Afterlight in 2020. And last year I read The Darkest Legacy, and I still have yet to read this book, which is, again, a collection of short stories in the world. And I love Alexandra Bracken's books. Apart from The Darkest Legacy, I think I've rated all of her books 4 stars. Or actually 4 or 5 stars, and I've read a lot of them. I only have to read this one and The Last Life of Prince Alistair. She does have her debut book, but that's out of print, so I can't really count that, but I'm really excited to read this book. I love the Darkest Minds series, and I'm really excited to be back in the world and be back with Alexandra Bracken's writing, because it's been quite a while since I've read one of her books. I did reread the Passenger series earlier this year, but it's been a while since I read, an original book from her. For the first time. Then, speaking of Agatha Christie, I also have Death in the Clouds by Agatha Christie. This is an Hercule Poirot book. I try to read an Agatha Christie book every single year for this challenge. And I've also been doing it since 2018, and I'm really excited to read this book. I know that it is about, you know, obviously Hercule Poirot, and he's on a flight and someone dies on, like, en route to the destination. So they're trapped in a plane that is still in flight, and he has to try to figure out who the murderer is. I love reading Agatha Christie books for this challenge because they're so quick and short, and I really, really love her writing. So I'm super excited to get into this one this week. Okay, I think I'm starting to notice a trend because the next book that I have on my TBR is The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. This is a book that I got for my birthday, and it is a YA mystery book, and it has to do with Agatha Christie. I actually don't know much about it, but it says, "Welcome to Castle Cove, a town cursed with missing girls, bad boyfriends, family secrets, and some very steep cliffs." So I think it's these two friends. One of them ends up going missing or getting murdered, and then the other one is trying to find her, and it's kind of mimicking Agatha Christie's books or something. I don't know. There's dual POV, and for one of the characters, there is, I don't know if it's the one trying to figure out the murder or the one who went missing, there are epigraphs from a bunch of different Agatha Christie books. So I think this will just be a really interesting read, and I know Mara from Books Like Whoa, who is like the Agatha Christie expert, really enjoyed this book also, and the cover intrigued me, and the idea that it revolves around Agatha Christie did as well. So I guess this is the Agatha Christie reading challenge of the week. Next, I have one of my most anticipated reads from this year, and that was, or is, Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. I love Brigid Kemmerer's fantasy books. I've read all of the 3 books in the Cursebreaker series, and I also read Defy the Night last year, which I really enjoyed. And this book is set in the world of Cursebreakers. It's kind of a spin-off novel, and it follows a new cast of characters. There's one of the main characters that is from the original trilogy, but the 2 other main characters are completely new original characters. It takes place 5 years after the end of A Vow So Bold and Deadly. And I'm really excited to read this book. I wanted to read it for this challenge because I feel like I'll have a lot of thoughts, and maybe people will want to hear my specific thoughts about this book. I don't know. I also just wanted to read it, and this felt like a perfect opportunity. This book came out in June, and I have literally been dying to read it since then. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. Again, I love fantasy books. I love Brigid Kemmerer's fantasy worlds, and I love the Cursebreakers. This is definitely the longest book that I have on this list. It is 540 pages. So, hashtag wish me luck. We will see when I actually get to this book during the week. It'll have to be a week where, or a day of the week where I have absolutely nothing going on and can just binge this story. But I'm really excited to do it nonetheless. And then the last book that I have on this list is The How and the Why by Cynthia Hand. This is a YA contemporary book that follows a girl who, when she turns 18, she ends up trying to find her birth mother, so she is adopted. And I think she is either sending letters to her birth mother or she's reading letters that her birth mother sent to her. I'm not completely sure, but I've been meaning to read this book since it came out, since before it came out actually. And I feel like, again, this is the perfect time to do that. And I really love Cynthia Hand. I read one of her other contemporary books, With You All the Way, in July and absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite books of the year. So I'm really excited to see how this book turns out. And I feel like it's going to be a really feel-good contemporary, but with also some like deeper undertones. So I'm really excited about that, and this book in general. But that is it for my TBR. This is going to be going up on the first day of the challenge, which is the 22nd of July, I believe. And then I'm going to be doing the daily vlogs for 7 days. Although on Thursday, the 25th, I will not be doing a vlog, so I'm going to like skip that day. It'll be... So that will, instead of that being day 4, Friday will be day 4. And then I'll just continue on with it like that, because I have an interview, a college interview on that day, and I'm also going to be going with my mom and her family friend and her son to a lunch to discuss another college that is on my list. So yeah, that's just going to be too hectic of a day, so I'm going to be skipping that day and just like continuing with the readathon on the Friday. But yeah, that is it for this video. I'm really, really excited about this challenge. I've been binging old booktubeathon / reading rush videos from other creators just to kind of get into the mood of it all. Also, this year, I can finally drive, so maybe I'll take you guys to Starbucks or something. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to like leave the house, because I usually never leave the house during these challenges, but this year, I'm gonna make it my goal. So yeah. that is it with this video. If you want to participate, please do, but if you don't, you can just watch my daily vlogs, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm so glad that I finally found a good chunk of time to do this challenge, and we'll see if I succeed. This has been the busiest summer of like my entire life, so we'll see. But yeah, that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. All my social media links are in the description box below, and I will see you tomorrow for day 1. Bye!